YouTube is LMERicoTv, man. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on, man. Shout out to Trap Geek, man. He finally returned with a new video. It's been a minute, but every time he dropped, we know it's gonna be a banger. So with that said, man, y'all see what video we getting into. The Bronx Burning, Rico's for the drillers. So y'all know what time it is, man. If you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Now, as y'all see, I'm on the grind of 7K. Hopefully I hit that very soon. And shout out to my supporters, man, because without y'all, my channel wouldn't be where it is right now. So I highly appreciate y'all. So continue to do what y'all do. Also, don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And make sure you guys all don't forget to smash that like button and comment on the video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring new supporters to the channel as well. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every single day. And also, don't forget to add and follow me on social media, man. All my social media is listed throughout this YouTube video as well as in the description box, so you guys shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said, though, man, y'all know what time it is. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen record. That started and starting the vid now.
And I had no idea what drill rapping was, but I called my son. He sent me some videos, and it is alarming.
At one time, the Bronx was a thriving community. That started to change.
Where y'all niggas at, bro? Where y'all Lori Law niggas at? Y'all just pissing on my son, Goon Ward. Nigga, y'all niggas is fucking.
You did somebody who died. His name was Rara.
Yeah. Before he died, 2 days before he died, he said, I'm gonna kill you when I see you. Look how that worked.
These individuals want to get credit for the harm that they're doing.
The gangs are accused of operating out of public housing and often stalk their enemies in broad daylight.
Why y'all running out dirty? Why you running? Why y'all running?
We are allowing music, displaying of.
Can't even lie, man. New York is definitely different, man. They just got a whole lot going on, of course, with the street violence and stuff like that. And I did see that recently they did have pretty much a huge gang takedown or whatever the case was, like a few days ago, that went viral on YouTube from a news channel or whatever. But other than that, I think this is probably going to touch on that in this video, and I think that's why Trap Geek dropped this video, because a lot of people is starting to get taken down in New York right now for gang violence and all that stuff. So that's it, man. We're gonna go ahead and continue on, man. I ain't gonna be pausing too much as well, just because this video is very long and I don't want to make this video too much longer than it gotta be as well. But with that said, let's continue on.
Guns, violence, we're allowing it to stay on these sites.
Alright, what is up, everybody? We gotta talk about New York drill. Probably one of the wildest scenes in rap, period. 7 years ago, there was a huge explosion with Brooklyn drill. Then the feds started doing gang sweeps, taking everybody down one by one. It got so crazy, you got shootings happening in Times Square involving established rappers.
This week's gunfire in Times Square, police have made an arrest. 20-year-old Kumina Elijah of Brooklyn.
Since 2017, the NYPD has used facial recognition technology, or FRT, in 22,000 cases. Because there's so many cameras in New York, the internet gets their hands on the footage of their favorite rappers involved in shootouts and moving traffic, stabbings, beatings near delis. I mean, some of the songs that were going viral. Every other line was someone smoking on someone's dead ops. Crews would boast about those same crimes and put them in music videos like they were Easter eggs.
And the crazy thing about it is some of these guys is actually blood for real, just on opposite sides, man. At the end of the day, I can't really speak on like how they should be towards one another, but just because y'all blood don't mean it's always gonna be 100 between y'all and shit like that. We already seen family pretty much do things to family that is pretty much unredeemable. Like, you can't come back from what you done already did, pretty much. So that said, though, man, that's just crazy as well. But with that said, we're gonna go ahead and continue on.
You had the city's mayor, Eric Adams, coming out in a press conference wanting to ban drill music, even expanding and investing into different departments that tracks everybody's pages online.
Much of that work is done here at the NYPD's Real-Time Crime Center.
They're bragging about.
I still don't say that music should be what ultimately make things feel like that's going to be the problem solver, because at the end of the day, music is music, man. You as the listener is just supposed to enjoy the music or whatever the case may be, and that's it. Nobody telling you to go, hey, you gotta go do this to be cool, you gotta go do this to be for real like us and shit like that, because at the end of the day, everybody path in life is different. People is doing gang stuff just because of the environment they're in, and possibly because of the stuff they got going on behind the scenes financially and stuff, and they need quick money, etc., etc. I'm not saying that this makes it right for people to be gang members, but at the end of the day, everybody is doing their own thing for their own reasons and stuff, so you shouldn't be a follower. You gotta find your reasoning for doing something, and you gotta find your own path, because at the end of the day, you the one that's mainly in control of your own life and where it goes and stuff like that. So that said, you shouldn't be listening to the music to try to be like them. You should be listening, if anything, just to be a supporter, if anything. But with that said though, man, it's a lot of people that listen to street music, but yet they not doing street shit. So at the end of the day, people gotta really stop trying to blame music because at the end of the day, music is only for you to listen and for entertainment. It's not for you to go try to reenact or do the things that they're rapping about, etc., etc. So that said, once the law enforcement get past that, they're gonna see that even if you try to take the music away, none of this is gonna stop. It's just not. It's an endless cycle. It's too much blood being lost in between these little beefs and stuff like that. So they shouldn't expect the music to have a huge impact on gang violence stopping. It's gonna continue to happen like it's been happening. But other than that though, man, let's get back to the video.
What they're doing. Social media has proven to be an invaluable tool.
A few years ago, the Bronx took over. Maybe one of the sickest boroughs in the city.
The society in the Bronx is horrible.
Rappers from the Bronx to stop using the music to encourage shootings.
I remember in the 90s, kids were throwing fridges off the roofs of the River Park Tower projects in the Bronx. And now the kids from RPT are getting indicted by the dozens on federal racketeering and gang conspiracy charges.
Niggas don't care about me, my heart, only been like 3 months, niggas really forgot about me already,
With the government trying to pin them for everything from murder all the way to animal cruelty. Talking about one of the most infamous drill voices in the scene, dthang, who was talking shit to a pigeon on an Instagram live stream with his boys, then shooting it dead for 100 viewers.
Your little mate's right here. Dawg, wait. You gonna pick him up? I can't look.
See, everything in New York was getting done for clout, followers, and numbers. With shootings spiking from 200 all the way to 500 last year. It's all young kids, aged 13 and 15, maneuvering the back alleys and the looping hills in the Bronx, using scooters to carry out hits in broad day.
This gang conducted wolf pack-like searches throughout the investigation.
Now, we're getting into all this, but first, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Millie's.
And we ain't here for that. Sorry, Trap Geek and the person that's doing that, but we ain't here for that right now, my boy. We gotta get back to what we here for. I think we right here, then. And of course, you get hit with an ad.
Any YouTube
so hold on,
having no content ideas and just feeling like a phony. Well, do I have a thing for you?
Ready to see wild shit. I mean, you got gangs dressing as Squid Games for Halloween, and it's not to go trick-or-treating. For the last 2 summers, Bronx drill was everywhere. On TikTok, radio stations, you got 3 to 4 sets of different cousins, blood-related, all established rappers, beefing with—
See, that's what I was just saying earlier. It's just crazy, man. But at the end of the day, it's a lot that happened in the street, so it ain't no telling what really causing them to beef for real behind the scenes. Like, yeah, they got stuff on social media, but sometimes it's a lot of stuff that the people that ain't trying to really get caught for some of these situations is pretty much not putting on social media. So it's people gotta also realize it's definitely stuff that's not on camera or on social media for real. That's also part of the reason why these guys are beefing. But other than that though, let's get back to it.
With each other because of block politics.
That's my cousin.
No, both of them are your cousins. Everybody's like, wait, hold up. They cousins, they're going at it, but he's cousins.
Can't wait to see Auntie now. Huh.
Because y'all are family, technically, could you ever see all of y'all reconciling?
Nah, I don't think so.
Wow.
The music in the Bronx is super high energy, sometimes too high. Like these kids got ADD or something. The Bronx has the biggest dropout rate in all of New York, and it's becoming a problem. You got kids going to school in rival territories, with different campuses getting metal detectors in them to squash gang shootings.
Jelly! OIK, you heard?
This, of course, is the rapper Shaike, with 100 million views on YouTube in 2 years of rapping, coming out of the Cortland projects in the South Bronx, aka home of extortion. In 2009, the Cortland Homes was subject to a police sweeping called Operation Bad Apple, which took down 52 people for racketeering and gang conspiracy. The NYPD even went on to build a police building right across the street from the projects called PSA 7, even though a precinct and a Bronx Borough court are literally a few blocks away. Cortland's home to popular rappers like B-Love and Shaike. Sha, who's known for having a deep-ass voice that doesn't really match his face, went to the rival school in Mott Haven campus, just 9 minutes away from his hood, where he would bug out towards any kid that repped the rival gang, the YGs. He was making posts talking about YG killer, even hopping on Instagram lives at 12 years old saying directly to a YG kid named Wuladi that he was gonna spare him.
What's up, dear Wuladi? Yo, he said, what's up, dear Wuladi? I know. I'm not gonna jump you, I'm gonna jump Nooks.
5 years later, Wuladi would get murdered. See, the Young Gunners, or the YGs, is an infamous Bronx-made gang which started in 2003 in the Mott Haven houses and the Patterson houses, just 10 minutes away from Cortland. 2 detention centers in the Bronx, Horizons and Crossroads, are breeding grounds for gang recruitment, and the YGs were formed to combat the overwhelming numbers of Bloods in adult jails like Rikers Island. At one point, the YGs had dozens and dozens of different sets, all banging under its umbrella, with all sorts of different hoods spread out throughout the Bronx, forcing other blocks around them to create their own gangs in response to combat the YGs. You can even see this in the classic South Bronx joint, Shot Caller, from French Montana. In the video, French is surrounded by YGs, and here you can see the leader, Jouhef, who was killed a few years later at Club Tropicana, beaten on the head with the glass base of a hookah pipe. And when the glass shattered, his ops used a metal rod inside the hookah to continue pounding his head, leaving Jouhef drenched in blood. He died in a coma a week later. The youngsters who oppose YGs often cite this event to antagonize them. YGs were notorious for violence themselves. Locals remember a horrific event that took place on April 16th of 2012, when a gang of YGs were drinking liquor on a hazy night, discussing who was the toughest in the crew. This crew of YGs made a 7-minute walk and stormed their rivals on Cortland Ave to see who they could catch. The Cortland buildings were empty, except for one kid, a 16-year-old named Noah Bala, aka Moses, was alone walking, probably weighed about 90 pounds soaking wet. The YGs chased him, kicked him to the ground, and stomped him to death. Kids from the Cortland projects hold Noah's name in high regard. B-Love, whose hit song, If You Know You Know, got 16 million views when it was released 2 years ago. He actually confronted the brother of a YG's member that killed Noah outside in front of the Metro Court, as this guy was waiting to be tried for a different murder of another Cortland youth named Yellow.
Come across the street. I came to court with it. God, last time you throw that up one more time. What the fuck you talking about? What you talking about, pussy? Come across the street.
The Bronx is so crazy. Dudes will get active in the courts, outside the courts, in front of police. They don't care.
If you want to be on camera,
it's just crazy, like how much animosity people got towards one another. But at the end of the day, too, with people dying left and right, that's it's going to be the cause for this to be endless beef.
Come here, Sean. I'm coming to court tonight.
Now, Noah's death is brought up in dozens of drill songs, all to disrespect him and the Cortland projects. Notorious YG rapper dthang out of the River Park Towers, a YG stronghold in the West Bronx, made the song Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That. In it, dthang has a cold-blooded line talking about the beating of Noah.
Just watch how we spin like a fidget. If we catch a be going like that midget. So Jelly fall back, I'ma clip him.
That song is riddled with disses. The title itself sounds funny. Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That. It's a direct shot at Shaike, the rapper from Cortland, who was caught on camera getting a wedgie.
Drag him! Yo!
Nah, that's wild.
Do you like my new song?
What you mean this? What you mean that?
Now, dthang's home, RPT, the River Park Towers, alias the Death Towers, encompasses two 44-floor buildings and two 38-story buildings standing over the Harlem River. 8 years ago, the feds took down 20 of their top guys, wiping out the leaders, hiring security guards, and installing cameras to stop people from dealing drugs right outside. Then, the kids took over.
One way in, one way out. So this is my brother for life, forever.
They continued drug dealing, robbing. The feds were actually finding illegal weapons in the music videos, then tying them to shooting.
And if you think about it, all this arresting and stuff that they doing, all these huge gang takedowns, this should just show them that even if you try to stop the music for real, the shit is gonna keep going. They're gonna find ways to keep this shit going, bro. It's not like, oh, take away the music, that's gonna really stop them. Like, bro, y'all gotta realize that this shit is gonna continue on and on and on, bro. It's too much stuff going on outside of the music to keep these beefs alive for a long time. So just taking down music, even doing huge gang takedowns, that's still showing y'all that it's really not enough. Like, this shit ain't gonna really stop for real unless they want it to stop. But with that said, that's definitely not gonna happen. It's just, like I said earlier, too much stuff going on. So they're gonna continue these beefs for probably past some of our lifetime shit. But with that said though, man, this is just a huge never-ending repeating cycle, man. You had the 70s, 80s, 90s, even before the 70s, 60s, 50s, all that shit. This shit is gonna continue on and on for generations to come. It's just, there's no real answer of stopping this for real. The only way this shit is gonna stop, like I said, is if they decide to stop. But that's never gonna happen, man. Sad to say, but that's just the unfortunate truth, man. It's simple. But with that said, we're gonna continue on.
You got shot, is that true?
Yeah, we know. Word of my mother, we know.
New York has always had very strict gun laws. People wanted to know how these kids were getting their hands on weapons. Ghost guns, these untraceable firearms made from parts you could purchase online. It's been wrecking havoc in the city.
If you're a child, if you're a convicted felon, you can go online and purchase these parts, get the parts, construct a firearm.
Serial numbers, untraceable, no background check, nothing.
Hey, money. That's all. The simple answer for all of this, money. People know how the world is. A lot of this shit, you can't live life for real unless you got money. So that's basically the real answer. Like, this shit ain't gonna stop either. They're gonna continue finding ways to get these guns and all that, and it's never gonna really be a real solution to stopping that, because at the end of the day, money is involved. And a lot of people know that money is needed to survive and do the shit that you want to do in your everyday life. So that said, people is going to continue to do whatever they got to do to make money if they really down bad or anything like that. So that's it, man. Unfortunately, that's not going to stop as well. They're going to continue to find ways to get these illegal firearms, and that's just simple. It's just the way it is right now. But other than that, let's continue on.
That is a problem.
The whole of 2021 was crazy. As the feds were tuning into Instagram lives, you could see stuff like rapper dthang with his own cousin, K-Flock, flashing out on each other for a live audience.
Yeah, Muddy, don't do that, Muddy. Don't do that, Muddy.
If I see Stunner, you know I'm a whack him. Fuck that. You know I'm a clash him. You saw my energy last time I saw you, Stunner.
K-Flock is literally dthang's blood cousin, coming from the famous Little Italy part of Central Bronx, near the 48th precinct. K-Flock's own mom pretended in an interview not even to know who dthang was.
Him and dthang are cousins.
I don't even know who that thing is. I'm the mom and I'm confirming it. That's nowhere near related to me at all.
His gang, DOA, or Dead on Arrival, is an allegiance of 5 blocks, all of which are surrounded by YGs and Drillies, a vicious gang of bloods that also oppose K-Flock and his gang, DOA.
Oh, Sa Flocka, come play. Come play today. You always playing on the internet. I want you to come play today.
Now, because the fans knew K-Flock as a crash-out specialist who would film his gang endeavors all for social media, this resulted in all his music getting more and more views.
Let me tell y'all what he did, bro. This nigga gonna call me to a mansion party full of ops. Ask KK.
Yo, I was there. We was in there, but who was there?
That's what I'm saying.
In there. Right or wrong, no.
Now, this would make his rivals upset and jealous. K-Flock would bring them into Instagram lives just to argue with them.
Bro, y'all, scariness. I was Folly, yo.
You never did nothing to me though. Really never did nothing to me.
That kid he was talking shit to is Rajiz, a YG member from the 800 block, literally a 15-minute walk away from K-Flock's hood. Now just 2 weeks after they had that argument on live, this YG kid Rajiz would preview a track called Real Facts, where he was going after K-Flock.
Hey yo, kicking out, let's with the facts. Anytime that they try to backs, he blew you again, you ain't smoking on Matt.
While this was going on, the feds were catching these same YG kids on surveillance cameras, carjacking Toyota Camrys, Mercedes Benzes, even robbing someone at gunpoint. A month later, on July 11th, those same YG
just to even throw in another little common knowledge fact because it's in the video. With all this footage, camera footage everywhere, and y'all still thinking music is gonna be the main impact to this shit stopping. Even with camera footage of these people doing these types of crimes and shit, it's still not stopping nothing. So at the end of the day, the law enforcement just gonna have to go back to the drawing board. They gonna have to pretty much keep doing what they been doing, which is doing these huge gang takedowns. But at the end of the day, for all those people that they took, it's always gonna be a replacement waiting for their turn to go ahead and take over and do what they gotta do. So keep that in mind, man. There's so many people in this world. It's gonna be hard to stop, man. It's just that simple. For every person that gets killed or put in jail, it's gonna be a replacement. That's just the way it really is for real, too.
Were hunting in DOA territory, K-Flock's neighborhood. They only had to drive 6 minutes before stumbling upon a 13-year-old kid named J-Rip, who looked up to K-Flock with huge admiration. One kid hopped out of a black Honda Accord that had 3 orange racing stripes on its hood. The kid aimed his pistol, unloading into J-Rip, who stumbled into this cafe, Angels, bled out, and died in front of customers. The same cafe, Angels, where K-Flock and Shaike were hanging out on a live stream a few months ago, right across the street from K-Flock's apartment.
Word to the God. Don't slide. Don't try to go like doing some stupid shit.
Word of J-Rip's murder got out quickly that day. The kid Rajiz, who was on live with Flock a few months prior, was now on social media mocking J-Rip's death. 7 hours later, Jay's friends went off to retaliate. They found Rajiz in a private Uber on the phone. 2 shooters on a scooter pulled up next to him, opened fire through the window, hitting him in the head and torso, killing Ra instantly. And all this happened in Mount Hope, a mile out from J-Rip's murder scene earlier that day.
Trolling.
Ra's family learned about his death from a friend who was on the phone with him at the moment he was killed.
Not too many people is going to
Revenge
just
does
sit
not
for that,
heal
for
losing
real.
loved ones, but Flock's fame was exponentially growing. He got an
like
offer
that.
for his very first show, upstate in Poughkeepsie, 2 hours out of New York City, where locals targeted him right away.
Some people to do
5 people were
like
found
this.
shot, 1 stabbed, right outside the club Revel 32, as security at the venue scrambled, turning his tour bus into a makeshift ambulance, transporting victims to the hospital. The tour bus got shot up as well, because the people that were doing the shooting thought the K-Flock was inside it.
Most of these victims were occupants of a private bus that had been identified as being in multiple locations here in the city of Poughkeepsie.
But he managed to escape unharmed. The next day, K-Flock would pop out at Rolling Loud, New York for a surprise performance.
With the surprise performance, the next stars in New York, K-Flock and B-Love.
But he got into a brawl with another Bronx artist as their entourages clashed, thus banning Flock from the festival for life. But all this beefing just boosted his profile. That same night, he would drop the song Being Honest with G Herbo, which now has 25 million views on YouTube. It was like K-Flock was on top of the world, but he was still doing drills. 6 days later, he was in a rental car with his boys, driving to his cousin dthang's building, the River Park Towers, spotting an op, shooting them on the Roberto Clemente Bridge. You'd think it would stop there, but no. The next week, undercovers pulled K-Flock over in Yonkers, finding a gun in his sock, which if you know New York laws, carries a 3 to 5 year sentence. The very next day, he was bragging about buying a new gun. You're thinking this might stop, and it will. Getting close to Christmas, on December 16th, 2021, K-Flock walked past the barbershop in Harlem early in the morning, had a standoff with this man, pulled a pistol out, and shot him dead. The rapper in the city with the most buzz, caught on surveillance video, wearing designer clothing from head to toe, shooting a rival. And the shoes he's wearing in surveillance video that day are the same unreleased Jordans he was showing off for social media just a few days before. The craziest part is the guy Flock's booked for killing comes from a set in Harlem that have the same enemies that K-Flock has. Geographically, they have the same rivals. They both beef with YGs and Drillies. Flock began beefing with this set in Harlem called the OIs because one of their rappers, Baby, was seen at a party smoking on Instagram Live with some YGs.
Yo, this shit, why do this shit got 300 views?
So Flock turned on them, gathered his posse, and made one of the coldest Bronx drill songs yet, called Brotherly Love, riddled with disses towards this Harlem set, the OIs.
I catch a funny gon' knock off his hoe. Niggas talking fuck he wanna do. He chill with them op niggas too. Whatever they throw up, I'm dropping it too.
Shy EK, the rapper from Cortland, would side with Baby, so in turn, he would start beefing with Flock, and Flock would start beefing with him. Both of them releasing diss tracks, with Flock saying he was smoking on Shy EK's dead father.
Free Flock. All y'all niggas music's doing bad now. Y'all need him, but free him, cause you know what we gonna do. He gonna be the 5th dead DOA member.
Interestingly, just minutes before Flock pulled the trigger at that barber shop, killing the man, he had logged onto FaceTime to talk directly to his rivals, brandishing his gun. And he was filming at the exact same stoops where Baby, the rapper from Harlem, had...
Yeah, man, that's another thing too, man. People gotta really try to stay off social media when they doing these things, because at the end of the day, that's only putting the target on your own back and shit. Yeah, you helping the police pretty much keep tabs on you and everything you got going on, and it's not hard on them at all finding out this information because you literally putting it on social media and shit for everybody to see. So with that said, man, people got to start really thinking for real about what they post on social media, because once you post something on there, it's on there forever. So 12 is going to be looking at that all the time and trying to put cases against you and stuff like that, build cases against you, shit like that. So that's it, man. You just pretty much got to stay off social media when you know you doing some crazy illegal shit for real, because you don't want to get jammed up. But other than that, though, man, we know, too, that a lot of people do this just so they get clout as well and stuff like that. I'm not saying K-Flock doing it for the clout, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much what it is. Everybody doing it for the clout, and people want to be seen as they a real one for real doing this shit. So that's it, though, man. It's just... This, like I said, is all going to continue on, sadly, but it's just the way it really is right now. It's too much that can happen over the years. It's too much bloodshed. It's just too much. So that's it, man. Law enforcement shouldn't hope for this to stop anytime soon, because it's not. But now let's continue on. The video is almost over, and then we're going to get up out of here.
And filmed a music video 1 year prior called Ready for War. Slowly, one by one, the Bronx was following the Brooklyn scene, with all their rappers getting wiped out by police indictments. 5 months later, the Drillies would get taken down in a massive Rico case, booking 20 people for murder, conspiracy, racketeering, and gang activity. Not even a month later, dthang, along with 22 of his guys from RPT, would get swept up as well. Then if you thought the scene wasn't toxic enough, 6 months later, the young rapper from Harlem, Baby, would commit suicide, which has fans still wondering to this day why that happened. Fast forward to this year, February 2023, and K-Flock, who was already sitting in prison for murder, would be one of 7 DOA members named in a federal indictment spanning from 2017 all the way to 2023. This is the New York drill scene in a nutshell. Every few years, a scene pops off from one of the boroughs, rappers make a huge wave, and then it all comes crashing down. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
So that's pretty much the end of the video, man. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to the video or the video itself in general, make sure y'all smash that like button and comment on the video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring in new supporters to the channel as well. Also, don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And make sure you guys all don't forget to smash that like button and comment on the video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring in new supporters to the channel. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every single day. And also don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media is throughout this video as well as in the description box, so you guys shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said, though, man, that's the end of the vid, and I'm gonna catch you guys later on with more, so stay tuned. Peace.